Koga, and I'm back once again with another distance learning video. Today's such a beautiful day. I thought we'd do the little intro part outside because it is a day after a rain and it is so gorgeous. Barely a cloud in the sky, sun's out, just a beautiful day. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna be drawing into the day. This is an activity I do with my students every single week, every Tuesday and Thursday, where we come into class and we start the day out by drawing. And it's a very simple activity. It's going to be something that's kind of fun today because what you're going to be doing for the drawing activities, you're going to be drawing a plant. And we'll kind of get into that when we explain the activity a little bit more in a little bit. All right, the second thing we're going to do is we're just going to check on the hummingbird nest. The hummingbird nest is amazing because yesterday it rained and I was really worried about it, that it would become, you know, like soggy, or the bird would get a bunch of rain on it and it would get really cold because it was freezing cold yesterday. But the nest is very protected. It's in a perfect little spot. So we're going to take a look at the hummingbird nest. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to be measuring something, and the thing we're going to be measuring is something that's very near and dear to Mr. Koga. It's a hobby I love doing. So you're going to get to see some cool stuff that Mr. Koga owns today. All right. So the fourth thing we're gonna do is we're gonna be writing out of the day. So that's another thing that I do with my students, is we write into the day and we write out of the day. So for writing out of the day today, you're just gonna be doing this journal that we talked about last video. We're gonna be writing down the date and time, what's happening in the world, and how you're feeling. The hummingbird is not super pleased that I'm so close to her nest right now. So yeah, let's get into the video. Here we go. All right, so I got my trusty handy dandy notebook, my trusty handy dandy sketchbook. Get some random doodles in here. And look, I even have a hummingbird drawing I was starting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick little time-lapse video of drawing the top perspective. And that's kind of looking down at the flower like that. Okay. Shadows are not really cooperating today. Alright, let's jump into it. And it's not going to be perfect. It's just going to be a quick little sketch. Okay, definitely not my best drawing ever, but that's okay. I'm just kind of trying to observe. All right, so if we look at the side view of the plant, a lot easier. Looks like a triangle shape. All right, I'm gonna try and bust that drawing out. Okay. There's a little side view of it. And then we'll do the bottom view, which is like looking at it from the very bottom. Which is interesting. And you know what? I'm actually not too unhappy about these drawings. They actually came out better than I was expecting. So there's the top, there's the side view, and there is the bottom view. And let me actually write bottom. Okay, and then also put the date. There. So just a simple drawing into the day. Just get to know some plants, you know, study the parts. It's very simple, low pressure. Ding! Alright, we're gonna check on our hummingbird nest. The mother has flown the nest, so I don't feel too bad scaring her off. She already popped out of there when we got here. So today is March 24th. It is a Tuesday in 2020, and we're gonna check on her nest. I can't really see because it's a little bit high, so I'm just putting the camera close to it, but you guys can see what's happening. So I'll kind of narrate what's happening in the video as we look at it right now.
Hello, this is Mr. Koga, and I'm here with Hummingbird Watch 2020. Crikey, mate, we got a hummingbird nest in the tree in Mr. Koga's backyard, in my own backyard. And this tree is actually called the bottle brush tree because the flowers resemble a bottle brush. Alright, let's take a look back in the nest real quick. And that's all for this week's Hummingbird Watch 2020.
And now, can you guess where we heard this group of rhythmic sounds? Let's listen.
All right, so you probably have a few questions wondering what's going on in that video that Mr. Koga just showed. I showed 3 of my surfboards. I pulled them out of the garage and I laid them out on the lawn. And the reason why I laid them out on the lawn is because I just wanted to show you the size of them. So this blue one right here is one of my babies. This one was made by Eric Arakawa. He made this board and I picked it up in Milwaukee. This board is called a Fish. It's a pretty small one, swallowtail, flip it over, twin fin. That means this board can turn very quickly, very fast, and it's the slingshot model. Okay. So on to the next one. Next one is a Bonzer model. It's kind of in between of a short board and a long board. This is a long board. That one's very big, okay? And this one has a different setup. As you notice, there's 4. These are glassed on fins. They're built into the board, but usually fins go into this thing called a fin box. And this box is where you put the fin in, you tighten it down, and that's what stays in. Okay, so these are glassed on. They're stuck on the board. There's 4 of them. And these ones can come out. If you have a little key, you can unlock them and take them out, okay? So, you have some questions, and usually with our students, we would ask them, what questions do you have about this? Unfortunately, we can't really do that with our situation right now. Mr. Koga noticed something kind of curious. So almost all surfboards have the dimensions written on the bottom. It tells you how tall it is, or how long it is, how wide it is, and how thick it is. But curiously, this one does not have that written on it. Or I might have covered it with the stomp pad. But this one, I couldn't find the dimensions. But I do know this one and that one. So our mission today is, you're gonna try and guesstimate or estimate how long is this board right here, the Bonzer model, okay? All right, go for it. Oh wait, you need more information about these boards? Okay, we can get that to you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn over the board and look at the dimensions. So here it says, this board's 5 feet 8 inches tall, 21 inches wide, 2.5 inches thick. Okay, but this is the number we want to worry about, the length. It's 5 feet 8 inches. The middle one is unknown, but the big one we do know. So let's take a look at it. All right, so the dimensions are written here, and this model is the rejected hipster hyper pig model. It was a prototype that I picked up. Okay, so this board is 9 feet 3 inches, 23 inches wide, 3.25 inches thick, a lot thicker than the other board. But this is the number we're gonna worry about, 9 feet 3 inches, okay? So now we got kind of a range. We have the little board, 5 feet 8 inches, and we have the big board, 9 feet 3 inches. This board is somewhere in between those two, okay? So let me give you kind of a bird's eye view shot of all these boards, and then I'm gonna send you out to solve our question. How long is the middle board? All right, so there's a good overhead shot, pretty good view of the size of all the boards, all right? And I'll put the text on the screen, of course. here's the reveal. Got my trusty tape measure out. I'm gonna set the camera up and then I'll try and measure it, and I'll bring the camera back down and then we'll see how long is that surfboard. So in this place we like to call Mathland, that's where all the numbers are perfect. They come out to a super clean number, like 7 feet, or it comes out to like just a perfect number that's not realistic. So the reason why we're doing this activity is for you to understand that in real world math, the numbers aren't always clean, they're not always perfect, they don't always come out to the number that you predicted. But if you got an answer or an estimate that was close, that's what math's about. It's not about being perfect, it's about being reasonable. It's about finding answers that make sense, okay? So now let's take a look at our big answer, or big reveal. All right, so I put the end of the tape measure. It's not 1 foot, it's not 2 feet, it's not 3 feet, more than 4 feet, more than 5 feet, and there's that 5 feet 8 inches. It should be longer than the fish surfboard. So let's keep going. More than 6 feet. So our answer is not clean, it's not perfect, but it's about 6 feet 9 inches, maybe 6 feet 10 inches. Okay, if I straighten it out, it's just shy of 6 feet 10 inches, more than 6 feet 9 inches, but that's okay. So the answer to today's question, the middle surfboard is 6 feet 9 inches or 6 feet 10 inches. Again, math in the real world is not always super clean and neat, but that's the purpose. Make it make sense, be reasonable. All right, see you in the next one.
All right, friends, we're going to end today's video with writing out of the day. So for today's journal, it's going to be similar to last week. You're going to write down 3 things. You're going to write the date and time. You're going to write what's happening in the world. And you're going to write how you're feeling. All right, I'll see you in the next video on Thursday. Mr. Koga's out.